when I go in some of these shops in Ghana, people are like sleeping behind the counter and they have like, oh, one of these mats right here. They have one of these mats and they're sleeping on it. And I'm just like, wow, this must be nice. Because in America, nah, you can't sleep on a job. The first time they catch you sleep on the job, that's a warning or an immediate termination. Second time, that's like a write up. You got to go home for a few days. Third time, your ass is fired. But here, you can sleep. The boss is sleeping. Or take naps or whatever. And then they also get an hour break, 1 hour break. But in America, you get 30-minute break. And no, you cannot sleep on the job ever, 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 or you will get fired. So that is the difference. And honestly, like I said, hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lala, and today I'm going to be talking about the cultural differences between America and Ghana. So let's get into the video. So number one is public displays of affection. So um in Ghana, it's frowned upon. It's not the norm. If you kiss your partner in public, you hear a Ghanaian woman or man say, hey, like, because it's offensive to them because they don't do this. If you're laying on your partner's shoulder, anything simple like that, they look at it like, what? Anything other than holding hands is seen as like inappropriate in public. But in America, you can kiss in public. I've seen people doing just even a little bit more in public. Like, it's a pretty open society, but here is very reserved. You will never see a Ghanaian couple kissing in public. It's a very, very reserved culture. So that is something that's new to me because I I like public displays of affection, but not really. I still kind of like my privacy. But even if you're in your car, if you're in the car and you're kissing your partner, people, Ghanaians will be looking in like, what? This is not normal. So, and they will be looking in your car because they're just not used to seeing that. But yeah, like this is the norm here, y'all. So if you do come here as a couple, just try to respect the culture, or you will be seen as outcast. If you don't really care, then that's your thing. But that is a major cultural difference to me because in America it's just really open. You can do whatever you want to do, kiss whoever you want to kiss. You have gay couples kissing. You have the mothers kissing their child. You have everybody kissing and showing public displays of affection, but here it's not normal. I've never even seen like a mother like kiss their child in public or anything, but I kiss my daughter, like I kiss her a lot. I like physical touch. Like that's how I show love. So if I have a boyfriend, a massage, little hugs or holding hands, I like that. With my child, I like to kiss her on the cheeks. I do it in public too, but I've realized like that's not the norm here. It's very reserved. So any type of public displays of affection, it's just not normal in Ghana. So keep that in mind. Another cultural difference here is relationships are traditional. They're strictly traditional. Most of them, yeah. So how that works is the women have like bride prices. If the men want to get married to the woman, they have a bride price. And, they have to sometimes provide for the woman and their families. And they have to prove before they marry this woman that they can provide for this woman. And that is just like the culture here. So it is common for a lot of women to ask a man like, hey, what allowance would you give me if I was your girl? Like, how much money would you give me each month to maintain me? Like, that's a common question that I've seen asked here. So to me, that's different because in America, women are begging for like they're asking for um, other type of questions like I want quality time. I want quality time. Or I don't want to go 50-50. Like those are the conversations a little bit different in America. In America, we argue with men over 50-50, and here the men provide, but the women are a lot more submissive. So, um, you know, for me, I like about traditional men are they are providers. So, they don't waste any time like trying to court you, trying to talk to you, where in America, like men are like don't want to approach, like they kind of like seem like they hate women. So yeah, it's a breath of fresh air because in America I feel like men don't really approach women anymore. But here I get approached a lot. A lot. And yeah, it's cool, it's nice, feels nice, to be able to like weigh out more options to see what works for me. But yeah, that is definitely like a huge cultural difference. So for men coming here as well, they realize like, okay, I have to provide for these women. Like you can't come here talking about 50-50. It's not going to happen. Like they're not going for it. Because these men are going to go above and beyond and they pay, like I said, not only provide for their wife, but they provide for the family as well. So I think when American men get here, like Black American men, it's a good balance for them because in America, women want you to provide too, but they don't want to be like submissive or traditional. So if you are looking for like a traditional woman, you'll get that here. You know, I like more of an interdependent structure. So I don't have anything against the traditional culture and I don't have anything against modern views as well. I like the mixture of the two. And honestly, I think that the more Black American women move out here, the more Black American men move out here, intermixing the two structures will be beneficial because I personally think an interdependent structure will work better because we're trying to build legacies, and but I don't really want to get into that. But yeah, the relationships are traditional here. In America, it's very modern, and there's more unity again with between man and woman here. Where in America, it's like a competition, a fight, a struggle. And honestly, I think maybe this is like the balance that we need here. Um, and yeah, there's many different people you can meet here that's traveled the world, people that are more traditional. So um, I think the intermixing of the two cultures is definitely what's needed for us to elevate as one. So yeah. So another cultural difference is the cash system. So cash, everything is cash here. Everything. So what you will realize is a lot of these Ghanaians actually have a lot more money saved up than the average Black American because they have to pay for rent 1 year in advance. You got to pay for a car in full. You got to pay for a house in full. So my immediate thinking is, oh, they have to save a lot more. Where in America, it's like credit. So everything is not, you don't own anything. You're just renting, mortgage, 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 car note, car note, car note. Like that is the difference. In my last interview, he said, my interviewee, um, he was talking about like everything you would expect from living in a Black country, you can experience it here. You will experience it here. So like bartering, they do a lot of bartering here. I owe you, you owe me type of thing. Um, people exchange services. Um, yeah, it's like basically doing business with a brother or sister. Like it's not they a lot of Ghanaians they use their money to buy like to build legacy. Like they building houses. Whenever they get money here, they building houses. But in America, it seems like people buying like clothes, shoes, things to impress. Um, and here they just don't do that. Like the first thing they're gonna do is buy land, buy something, own something. But in America, we rent a lot more. So that is the major difference between the two um, countries. Like, yeah, it's kind of opening up my mind to see like what's important. So now when I get my money, I treat my money more like a local. You know, that's why when I get on public transport or I do certain things, like I bring exact change because I'm trying to save every single dime. Because as soon as the year rolls over, you got to pay for rent another year in advance. You know, so you have to keep these things in mind and kind of act like a local when you get here to be able to save your money because it is a cash culture. You're not going to get anything on credit here. Another thing is the work culture is much more relaxed. So this will be like annoying to you at first because it doesn't benefit you as a customer if you're in a rush. But I realize like this is a natural pace of life here in Ghana, and in America we are literally running a rat race. Now, one thing I loved about living in America is it's taught me to be ambitious. If I never lived in America, I wouldn't have this ambitious spirit, and I like that about America. But in Ghana, you know, things are a lot more relaxed, and that's not to say that be American, being an American is better than a Ghanaian. No, what I'm saying is I like the balance of how both environments are um, changing me. So in America, the reason I'm ambitious is because I lived in New York. And that's the main reason why I moved to New York is to be more motivated, be more independent. But the reason I moved here to Ghana is to have my daughter have a humbling upbringing for her to have live a slower paced lifestyle with a community around her. So this is what I get in this type of environment, a lot more slower paced environment. And it benefits me now in my life, just like when I lived in New York, it benefited me. So I just learned to adapt because I realized I'm not in New York. This is Ghana. When I go in some of these shops in Ghana, people are like sleeping behind the counter and they have like, oh, one of these mats right here. They have one of these mats and they're sleeping on it. And I'm just like, wow, this must be nice. Because in America, nah, you can't sleep on the job. The first time they catch you sleep on the job, that's a warning or an immediate termination. Second time, that's like a write up. You got to go home for a few days. Third time, your ass is fired. But here, you can sleep. The boss is sleeping. You know, or take naps or whatever. And then they also get an hour break, 1 hour break. But in America, you get 30-minute break. And no, you cannot sleep on the job ever, 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 or you will get fired. So that is the difference. And honestly, like I said, I like the combination of the two environments for me. So I like the time that I spent in New York, but I also like the time that I'm spending now because in New York, everything was just go, 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 go. So here, you know, if I want that slower pace environment, this is something that I have to embrace. Is this is how their work environment is, and this is how it is in New York. So you can't come to Ghana expecting it to be like New York. So just keep that in mind when you're coming out here. You're gonna have to practice a lot more patience and understanding. You know, and yeah, I respect Ghanaians completely, but it's kind of funny when I see people sleeping behind the counter. I'm like, wow, like this is different. So another cultural difference is another cultural difference is the way people greet one another. Like, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Like, random strangers, if they pass by you on the street, they will greet you like this. So when I came here, that was like a huge culture shock for me because in New York, it's the opposite, complete opposite. Like, you don't greet anybody, you just get straight to the point. You be as efficient as possible and as fast as you can. But here, it's like, as soon as you step in someone's car, into any room or vehicle or whatever, you greet people. If you don't feel like greeting them, okay, fine. But if you are going to buy from somebody or, whatever, you walk into their store, it's best to say that, good morning, good evening, whatever, before you purchase something. Because you don't want those misunderstandings. Like, people think that you're rude. Okay. So yeah, I've learned to say, these things over time. Sometimes I still slip up and I get back into these like New York ways, but yeah, that's really like a huge cultural difference. So be prepared for that. Another cultural difference is the Eurocentric beauty standards. So here in Ghana, they sell a lot of skin bleaching products. Actually, when I'm online and I'm like, they show me a lot of Ghanaian like brands, products that are being sold on Instagram. And people are marketing their business on there. And I see a lot of skin bleaching commercials. And I'm just like, why are y'all showing me this? I don't bleach. But yeah, so that is a huge cultural difference. Um, One person said, Lawaba, in one of my interviews, she was like, people were competing about who is more light skinned, who is more, this is something that I think we went through in America for a short period. But then, this Black Pride movement started. And people don't really have those type of discussions anymore. You will find a few people having those discussions in America, but it's not common as it used to be. But here, it's just a huge cultural difference. And when you see like the skin bleaching products in the front of the store, it's such a difference because I'm like, in America, they hide those products. I'm not saying they don't sell those products, but it's usually in the back somewhere. Like, you know, um, because like I said, we started this Black Pride movement there, so people don't really use those skin bleaching products. A lot of girls don't even use perm like that anymore. But here, a lot of those things are common because some people are trying to, uh, you know, get like this Eurocentric beauty. And I know a lot of that is caused by like colonization and, yeah. So it's hard to see because I'm like, damn, we already kind of got past this in America, and to come into a new situation where that kind of thinking is backwards, I hate to see it. But I hope in time, like things change. They take these skin bleaching products off the shelves, especially the front shelves, and we get to loving ourselves all over the world. Okay. Next one is that's a cultural difference is respect for elders. Like elders get like seniority, like here. But in America, we don't care how old you are. If you don't show respect, we don't give you respect. That is the difference. And I went through one situation, just one situation here where I had a taxi driver try to charge me for like the full ride, and I got off the ride less than halfway through, and he tried to charge me more than what I was supposed to pay. And it wasn't even about the money; it was just about the principle. And I was like, you're really not going to give me my change, but you're going to give everybody else their change. And then when I spoke up for myself respectfully, everybody was like, no, 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 don't say nothing. No. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna speak up. He's wrong. He's stealing from me. Like, no, I'm gonna say what I have to say. So he just kept, sticking to his guns. He would not admit that and take accountability that he stole from me. Like, he wouldn't give me my change. So it's not until this guy got in there and I was like, hey, how much are you supposed to pay from here to here? And he told me, like, this is the actual price you're supposed to pay. And when he told me that, the man was looking like, damn, he was looking like you should have lied to her like everybody else lied for me. And it's like, damn, like y'all giving him this respect that he's not earned. I don't care if you're older, like, I will respect every single human being, whether you working $7 an hour or $1 million an hour, whether you are an infant or an older person. But when you're not giving respect, you should take accountability. But here in Ghana, older people are given like seniority and they're given respect regardless. So yeah, this is like a common thing here, and there's nothing wrong about it. I don't see anything wrong with that. I think like seniors should be given a certain respect because they have lived longer. But if you're an old fool, I'm not gonna respect you, and I don't care what everybody else chooses to do. So, yeah, this is just definitely like a cultural difference. You may run into a situation where you experience this or you may not, but it doesn't really affect me much. But yeah, that is something that I observe, so just keep that in mind. Another cultural difference is like the brotherhood and sisterhood aspect that I've experienced. Even like some women here have been like really kind to me. Like they'll offer me rides. Like just the other day I was walking to the main road and someone was like, are you headed to the junction? I could, you can hop in. Somebody see me walking from the gym, another girl, and she was like, hey, you could come in. I'll give you a ride, no problem. And she didn't want anything in return, just to be nice. And the guys are nice to each other. I don't really see like fighting. I don't see fighting. In America, it's like black on black crime. It's white on white crime too, but it's not like a lot of brotherhood and sisterhood. Here, it definitely is. Even sometimes men hold hands here. And so there's not like that homophobic thing. Like men aren't seen like it's gay if they're affectionate with one another. So that is definitely a cultural difference. And the same with women. I've seen women hold hands too. So yeah, it's like definitely more of like this brotherhood, sisterhood type of vibe here. And I like that. I really do like that. However, there is homo activities that goes on in Ghana, and that goes into the next cultural difference in the last one. So the last cultural difference is in Ghana, homosexuality is illegal. It is illegal. If you get caught in homosexual activity, especially as a man, you will get arrested. But that doesn't stop people from doing what they want to do. There are certain nightclubs here where there's lots of homosexual people on the down low there at the bars, at the clubs. And I didn't know like there was such a huge community, but of course there is. There's gay people everywhere. So yeah, it's just like a complete difference because in America it's completely open. They're actually like influencing us to be this way. They're introducing like uh, sexual activities of gay people to children in elementary school. They're teaching them about anal sex, but here it is a taboo topic. It is not talked about, and yeah, you're seen as a criminal if you are gay. Um, yeah, so this is like a huge cultural difference. I don't think they're like discriminative against gay people because I'm not gay, so I don't know like what everyone's experience is. But I've never heard of any like discrimination against anyone else who came here from another country and was gay. I don't know how they treat gay people that are Ghanaian. but I know that there are spots where they hang out and there is a community for it. So clearly, it's accepted by some people. Um, yeah, so this is a huge, huge culture difference. Yeah. So just keep that in mind when you guys come here. But that is it for today, you guys. That concludes my video. I hope I was able to give you some insight. When I first came here to Ghana, I didn't know what really to expect. Every African country is unique in its own way. I love Ghana. And honestly, I'm embracing a lot of these differences. And honestly, me being born in Jamaica, it does make things a little bit easier for me. But also, if you're coming from America, I think it's definitely some cultural differences that you will experience here that you may actually need to heal yourself. So I hope this list was insightful for you guys and it makes your decision much better on whether you want to visit Ghana or live in Ghana. So if you guys like videos like this, I appreciate you guys liking, sharing, and subscribing. Make sure you hit the notification bell if you want to see more videos like this. Thank you for watching. One love. Bye.